Hello, my name is Vickie Burgess, and I'm married to a retired attorney named Brian. And I have two children, Joshua, who is now in heaven, and a daughter, Melissa. I have a placard in my home that says, "Home is where your story begins." And I feel that each of us has a story to tell in our lives. I loved it around the campfire, listening to my grandpa tell wonderful family stories. And I used to tell stories to my dolls at home. And I was called the story lady in this area of La Habra, and there was a write-up on me, and I used to speak in assemblies in schools. And I had a story telephone line, and also right now on the computer you can dial mystories.org and hear wonderful Bible stories that I have produced. And so I love telling stories. So when I was asked to tell a story for Rainbows and Cobwebs, I thought of a story that would be an adventure, a fun one, where actually something happened that changed from bad to good. And so this is the story I wrote is called Mikie, and it's a story of a young child at 3-4 years old that wasn't talking, and it was just relating and getting his way with nonverbal means. As a language specialist, I have a degree in speech pathology. I was called to advise and help Mikie. And so that's my story, and it has a happy ending. I hope you pull it up and read it and enjoy it. I have had many stories in my life, and have enjoyed just so many wonderful things. But I've had a pretty tragic story. When our son Joshua died 10 years ago in a plane crash, the happy fairy tale stories seem to change in my life. And so we will have those cobwebs, those hard, difficult stories. And I've written a book. It's still in process of being published. But it's this story called Kisses from God. And this is my life, my journey after Joshua's death, and how God shows up. And so even though we have tragic stories, we also have beautiful endings, because we do have a God who cares and loves us, and we just have to draw close to him. My favorite hymn is In the Garden, and that is one of the main issues of life that I have found, that if I walk in the garden with my Lord and Savior, he will be with me, he will help me, he will guide me. And so that's one of just my favorite hymns. It's, I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. He walks with me, he talks with me as we go along through the day. And so it's just been a pleasure to be part of this book, and I hope to write more stories. And I pray your stories too will have happy endings.